Welcome back to My Real Estate Podcast with David Liberatore. I'm your host, and today we're diving into something that's really reshaping how Americans think about where they want to live. David, we're talking about this massive shift toward master-planned communities. You know, the ones with all the amenities, the town centers, the whole lifestyle thing. What's driving this? Because it feels like a pretty big change from how people used to shop for homes.
Yeah, it's a huge shift. And honestly, it's one of the most interesting trends I've seen in real estate over the last several years. Buyers are really starting to prioritize lifestyle and community over just the house itself. They're asking themselves, what's the experience going to be like when I wake up in this neighborhood? And that's a totally different question than how many square feet is my house?
Right. Exactly. So it's not just about the four walls anymore. It's about everything around it. But I'm curious, what are people actually looking for in these communities? Like, what amenities are we talking about here?
So you've got a bunch of different layers. You've got the obvious stuff, fitness centers, pools, that kind of thing. But then you've got town centers with restaurants and retail, which is huge because people want walkability and community gathering spaces. You've got trail systems, which appeals to people who care about wellness and outdoor activity. Schools are a big one for families. And then there are clubs, golf clubs, social clubs that create a real sense of belonging. Plus, a lot of these communities are programming events, fitness classes, social gatherings. It's almost like they're creating a lifestyle ecosystem right there in your backyard.
Oh, wow. So it's not just amenities. It's really the programming and the community experience. I love that. And I imagine this appeals to different demographics for different reasons, right? Like a young family might care about schools, but a retiree might care about wellness programs and social clubs.
Exactly. That's what's so smart about these master plan communities. They're designed to appeal across the board. Young families get the schools and parks. Empty nesters get the wellness amenities and social programming. People who care about walkability and environmental sustainability get the trails and the town centers. It's really about creating something for everyone, which means the community itself becomes a major selling point. You know, when someone's considering a move to a place like Lakewood Ranch or similar communities, they're not just thinking about the house, they're thinking about the whole lifestyle that comes with it.
That actually ties into something we've talked about before on the show, home values and what drives them. Because if the community itself is that valuable, that must impact property values, right? The amenities and the programming must be a huge factor in what a home is actually worth.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where it gets really interesting from an investment perspective. Buyers are willing to pay a premium for homes in these well-designed, amenity-rich communities because they're buying into the whole ecosystem. They're buying lifestyle, they're buying community, they're buying the experience. So when you're looking at what determines a home's value, and we've broken this down before, the community quality and amenities are absolutely at the top of that list.
That makes total sense. And I imagine this also changes how people think about financing their home purchase too. Like, if you're buying into this lifestyle, maybe the financial decision looks different than it would have a few years ago.
Yeah, it definitely does. People are thinking about total cost of living, not just the mortgage. They're considering what they're getting in terms of amenities and programming. And sometimes that justifies a higher purchase price or a different financing strategy. We've talked about cash versus financing on the Gulf Coast, and a lot of that comes down to personal preference and financial situation. But when you're in a master planned community, you're also factoring in HOA fees and what those buy you in terms of lifestyle and community experience.
Right. So the HOA fees aren't just maintenance. They're actually buying you into this whole lifestyle experience. That's a really important distinction. So from your perspective, why do you think this trend is accelerating right now? What's changed in how people think about home ownership?
I think people are realizing that home is more than just where you sleep. It's where you live your life. And after everything that's happened over the last few years, people are really prioritizing community, wellness, and quality of life. They want to be around like-minded people. They want access to activities and programming. They want to feel like they're part of something. Master planned communities deliver that in a really intentional way. It's not accidental, it's designed. And I think buyers are recognizing that value.
That's really insightful. And honestly, it makes sense when you think about it. You're not just buying a house. You're buying into a whole community and a lifestyle. David, this has been fantastic. For anyone listening who wants to dig deeper into how this affects their home's value or how to think about financing a home in one of these communities, we've got some great resources on the show. But before we go, any final thoughts on this trend?
Yeah, I'd just say if you're shopping for a home, don't overlook the community aspect. Walk around the neighborhood, check out the amenities, see if the programming and lifestyle align with what you actually want. Because at the end of the day, you're not just buying a house, you're buying into a lifestyle. And that's worth paying attention to.
Love that. David Liberatore, thanks so much for being here. This was really helpful. For everyone listening, make sure you check out our other episodes on home values, financing strategies, and everything else real estate. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you next time on My Real Estate Podcast with David Liberatore.